Here we are at the finale. Or should I say, finally, huh? Yeah, whatever. I don't write this stuff.
So Telltale just dropped the 5th episode of Tales from Borderlands, and this is what I think about it. Okay, so here's a heads up now. There's going to be full spoilers ahead, whether this be from last episode or even spoiling this episode. While they might not be till the end, be aware that there might be small plot details that if you're smart and resourceful and put it all together, might ruin the overall experience of the game. Okay, let's continue. So, when we left off, in my playthrough, I had given Reese, I pretty much allowed Handsome Jack to take him over, blah blah blah. I went back and changed it actually. It was the first time I've ever done that in a Telltale game. And it turned out fine. I mean, everybody hated me for the rest of the game, but I liked it more than what the other outcome was. And so then we were trying to put together Gordy's to get to the Vault of the Traveler, and in the end, save the day. Okay, so what did I think about it? Let's start off with the story. The story is top-notch in this 5th episode. They did a really good job. And it makes me wish I played through the game all in one playthrough. Instead of waiting 3 months between every episode, it was dumb. If not, just replay the full game before I played this 5th episode. You will want to play every single episode before you do this one. If not to remember, just to get yourself caught up and make sure the choices you made are what you want going in. Because the choices that you make are big choices that you might not even thought about since episode 1. But that's the story without spoilers. We'll get into more to that later. Okay, so how does the game run? This game runs awful. Xbox 360 is unbearable. Sometimes it runs at around 5 frames per second, which, while the game's loading between cutscenes, you'll get about 15 seconds of nothing. Character voices cut out, and sometimes, especially in the finale, I didn't even get to hear what Reese said. Good thing I turned on subtitles. Not even to mention during the credits, there was no song. Whether I can't verify for sure if this was the way it's supposed to be or not, I highly doubt it, since the Borderlands games usually have amazing music in the intro and outro sequences. I uncovered so many weird bugs, including some walls like this one that are like having a seizure. Like, that's not a normal wall design. Anybody could see that when they were playtesting it. On how they program their games, and I don't try to be. Some of these fixes should have been made, or maybe just delayed even a couple more weeks. As brutal as it would have been worth it, and might have been the bump it needed to make this game a Game of the Year contender. So, all the characters are good. Like I said, you'll encounter characters that you haven't thought about since episode 1, and they'll show up for the finale, and it's epic, and it's awesome, and all the character lines are finished, and characters that you think aren't important at all are actually like the biggest character in the game. So, let's get into spoilers. So, story-wise, it's amazing that Loaderbot is at the end. I was like, why is he a character if they're not going to finish his plot loop, since there is none? But he turns out being the guy, and you're like, whoa, that's kind of weird, it makes no sense. Vaughn has a great character arc, and he comes back kinda looking like Anthony Birch. Kind of, not really. But he's got a beard, he looks like he's Jesus, he took people to the promised land, and I forgot he died in episode 4. Or actually what even happened to him. But like I said, the story wraps up nice. All the people that you kind of want to be gone are kind of gone after the second act, and a lot happens in this episode. I chose to defeat Jack. Well, obviously everybody chose to defeat Jack, but I chose to not crush his little eye thing, and that scene terrified me. So when he's pulling out all his gear, so we're not going to talk about that scene. I also love what the game highlights. It's got a great fighting game homage that I absolutely love, and it made sense. It just shows relationships the people who you choose in the end to be your crew actually matter and have their own scenes based on what you said. I chose Springs from Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and Athena from the same game, and they constantly banter back and forth about their relationship. I thought that was really cool, and something that couldn't have happened if I had picked Zero, for example, who was locked in my game. And while some of the people in the end seemed like they were just pulling characters out of anywhere, just if they've been in the game, they want them to be in that finale. It was weird, but you didn't have to choose them if you played your cards right. Some decisions that I personally made that I thought wouldn't be a big deal at all came back to bite me in the butt, and it didn't actually get to use them in the finale, even though I don't know what they would have offered, although Zero does have me really bummed. The game's just, it might be the best game of the year contender that Telltale's had since Walking Dead Season 1. Maybe this is from constantly seeing the reviews from the Telltale Games Twitter page, but I think this game does have a chance if they can patch it. I want all those bugs gone. Maybe they're gone on other console versions, maybe they're not even existent on some console versions. But I want them gone, and I want them gone now. But like I said, the game's great commentary on relationships, sacrifice. It's top-notch Telltale stuff. Multiple characters from out of nowhere die, and then they come back, like, weird, and there's comedic moments that aren't as spot on as, like, Episode 2 or Episode 3, for example, but they're pretty good nonetheless. So, in summary, what are my thoughts on Tales from the Borderlands Episode 5? I thought it was fine. Once again, this is from me playing all the episodes one by one every 3 months. Let's say I pretty much forgot every single game's plot after those 3 months, went back, watched a few cutscenes. I think I will get this game on Xbox One, play through the whole thing, front to back, and just see how it works. Because I do love the story, but I hate the technical glitches. They're unbearable in this game. They're unbearable in Episode 5, and they're not too bad in the rest of the game, which bums me out. If you played the game, tell me what you thought of the ending, and get the discussion going in the comments. I'll be sure to check up on them, answer any people who, whatever you guys thought about the ending. There's not very many choices to make, like, it can't vary that much from game to game. I don't think this game is going to be a Game of the Year contender, mainly looking at what it's facing off against, which we have Call of Duty. Mainly looking at what it's facing off against between Witcher 3, Metal Gear Solid, and Fallout 4, inevitably. But I'd give this episode maybe a B+. I'd give it an A- story, and maybe a C- from the technical glitches. But, like I said, those are my thoughts, and I'll see you guys later.